Welcome back to Squawk Box. Rick Santelli here live at CME HQ with a long list of important breaking news. Let's start out with our May read on Empire Manufacturing at minus 9.2, a little more negative than expected. That's the weakest number since minus 20, which was just in March. Now, let's go to retail sales, shall we? It comes in at 1/10, up 0.1%, with a positive 1/10 revision in the rearview mirror to 1.5. And that would be, of course, one of the solid numbers going all the way back to Jan of 23 for last month. But right now, 0.1 is a little better than expected. Strip out autos and gas, it gets better, up 0.2 with a 0.3 positive revision in the rearview mirror. If you look at X autos, it's up 1/10, and in the rearview mirror, up 0.8 from up 0.5. That's a little bit on the light side. Now, if we look at the control number, or what I call core retail sales, we're expecting an up number. This is the disappointment in the series. Comes out minus 0.2, even though we had a slight positive revision of 1/10 in the rearview mirror. Minus 0.2 in this category would be the weakest. Well, second weakest of the year next to January, when it's down 0.5%. On the inflation front, this is our April read on PPI. Minus 0.5%, minus 0.5%. This is a big read. However, in the rearview mirror, last month goes from minus 0.4 to 0, almost whitewashing it. But minus 0.5, that would be the biggest negative PPI headline going back to April of 2020, the COVID-affected years. Now, if we look at X food and energy, that comes in at minus 0.4. That would be the weakest in this number series. And if we look at X food and energy and trade month over month, down 1/10. Down 1/10. That makes it official. All the monthly numbers are negative. And if we look at year over year, final demand, down 1/10 from expectations at 2.4. It's following a read of 2.7. 2.4 would be the lowest since it was 2.1 in September of last year. Year over year, X food and energy, that would come in at, let's see, year over year. That comes in at 3.1%. 3.1%. That's as expected, a couple tenths lower than the rearview mirror. We're not making as much progress on that front. And finally, if we look at X food, energy, and trade, 2.9, well below the 3.4 last time. 2.9 equals March of last year. 2.8 would bring the comp of Feb of 24. Initial jobless claims come in at 229,000, very close to expectations. And in the rearview mirror, 229,000. Makes the math kind of easy. Unchanged on the week. And I do point out, we haven't been above 250,000 going all the way back to, we haven't since October of 24. And on continuing claims, we're coming in at 1,881,000. So that makes it official now. We're back below the 1.9 million. The only read that we had there was 2 weeks ago, and that brought us back on a comp all the way to, May of, November of 21. One number left, folks, one number left, and that is Philly Fed. This number is the business outlook. It's a May read, just like Empire, and it comes in at minus 4. Minus 4 actually is way better than expected. Minus 26 in the rearview mirror. Minus 4 actually comes in as the best number since March, when it was all the way up at 12 and change. You know, the PPI numbers didn't get the type of response I would have thought. We went from a 451-ish on a 10 to 449, still hovering around 4.5%. Yesterday's close in 10s was a 3-month high yield close. 2-year note yields, well, they only moved a couple of basis points as well. And I think the reason here is many aren't going to trust some of the numbers. Everybody really wants to see something from Liberation Day showing up. I don't see it here, but I think that's part of it, along with the notion that PPI, it's kind of the weak cousin to CPI. Many pay more attention to the consumer price index. Joe, long list there, but if you synthesize it via the markets, rates have gone down a smidge, and the pre-opening equities, well, they're kind of all hovering in the red, but not huge.
So to be clear, anybody that has the mute button on and didn't hear you thought that the CPI was up 0.5. So to be clear, if they're just watching our board, so to be clear, it's down 0.5 was the headline number, and down 0.4 X So let's just get that. Okay, there, good. Now it's fixed. Okay.
Yeah, no, Joe, did I do them right? I did say minus
you did
4,
do it.
5,
You
minus
did.
4.
You did while I was looking at plus
right.
0.5.
You just want to put a big yellow highlighter on it, don't you?
I just want us to be able to tell people that are watching if that it wasn't up 0.5, because that would have been much hotter than the estimate.